Hello, welcome to another episode. It is officially December the 1st. I'm feeling very festive. It is also very normal at this time of year for people to plan ahead and think about what they want to do next year. And so if you have decided that in 2022 you would like to move to Italy, I think that you'll find this video very helpful indeed, because it isn't just the physical preparation that you need to consider. Oh no, you also need to consider your mental preparation. And I am about to share with you 5 ways that you can mentally prepare yourself for your move to Italy so that you start off on the right foot, shall we say. So let's get into it, shall we? So the first way that you can mentally prepare yourself for your move to Italy is to start to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. What do I mean by that? I mean that you need to be prepared that potentially 50 to 60%, maybe even higher, of your life is going to feel uncomfortable when you first move to Italy. Language differences, of course, play a huge part in that. But even if you know Italian and you can communicate and be understood, there are going to be many other aspects of life here in Italy that differ to what you are used to. And so for this reason, you are going to feel uncomfortable. And this could be related to bureaucracy, to simple everyday matters, cultural differences, the food that you can buy here. It literally covers all aspects. And so when you recognize this from very early on, I think you start to prepare yourself for this, because you only have to look on YouTube and see the many videos that people have recorded about cultural differences and shocks that they have encountered since moving to Italy to recognize that, yes, there are going to be many differences. And so you need to mentally prepare yourself for this, because honestly, if you don't, you may very easily be deterred when you move here, when you realize that it isn't La Dolce Vita from the moment you step off the plane. You need to understand that feeling uncomfortable is very normal and very natural and may never ever go away, because you know what? It's very normal. I've been living here for 3 years. I still live a very large percentage of my life in an uncomfortable way because, yes, the language is a big deal. This is one, but also because the life here is so different to life in the UK. So for this, recognize it, understand it's normal, and realize it's part of the journey. It's part of what you've signed up to when you agree to live in another country, I believe. And the second way that you can mentally prepare yourself for your move to Italy is to learn to embrace change. Now, some people argue that until you physically move to somewhere, you don't know if you're going to be able to adapt to change. However, although in part that's true, I also believe that we all experience change at some point in our lives, whatever country we may be living in, whether that's changes relating to our work, relating to relationships, relating to friendships, or to living situations. We have all experienced a degree of change at some point in our lives. And so how you responded or do respond to that change is a good indication of how you'll respond to moving to Italy, for example. So I think you need to recognize that life will be different, that you may not be able to do some of the things that you used to do in your country, or you may not be able to access the food or television shows or creature comforts that you normally have in the country you're currently living in. But it's all part of the experience. And a lot of people face problems because they are unwilling or unable to adapt. And I've spoken about this before in one of my videos up here. I'm going to link it above, where I talk about how essential it is to be able to change. Because I can tell you, I'm not the same woman that stepped off the plane in August 2018. I have evolved, I have changed, I have adapted. And it's been a bit of a roller coaster. It's not been, oh, I arrived in Italy and my life went, no, my life's been like, woo, like this. But for every up and down, I have adapted, I have changed, and I have become, in my opinion, a better person as a result. And so learning to change is one of the greatest gifts we can give to ourselves, because it's impossible to be the same person that you were when you were 10 years old. When you're like 30, for example, you do change, you do evolve, you do grow. And, you know, moving to another country is, one of the biggest changes that you can make in your life. So recognize that you need to adapt to that change so that you can give yourself the opportunity to have a better experience. When people are constantly clinging on to their old lives, to the way that their life was in the country they've come from, they take that gift away. They hold themselves in that negative space, which means they don't really get to enjoy or appreciate their new life where they currently are in Italy. So don't make that mistake. Be prepared to change. Be willing to let some things go that you used to do or used to know, and be willing to replace them with something new, learn something new, do something new. It's all in the change. That is where the magic lies, in the change. So the third way that you can mentally prepare yourself for your move to Italy is to make connections. And you can start to do this even before you step on the plane. Thanks to online Facebook groups, you can start to meet people who are currently living in Italy, who are currently sharing their experiences. Although, as I've mentioned in this video up here, you do need to be careful and exercise caution when you use these groups, because you know, it can be a bit of a cesspit of negativity, so just be very careful with that. But having said that, they have also given me a lot of information and guidance and support that I didn't necessarily know about before. So for this reason, I do recommend Facebook groups. Just, you know, take them with a little bit of pinch of salt. Some people have had some negative experiences, but as we all know, one person's negative experience doesn't have to be yours. So that's one way that you can start to form connections with people. Also, look on YouTube, like start to follow people who are living in Italy. My beautiful channel is one example. You can subscribe below. Or some other people that are currently living here, and get a flavour of what life is like and some of the, you know, challenges that they face and some of the more positive aspects, and just generally understand what your life in Italy is going to be like. And through that, you may follow their social media accounts, and you may start to connect with other people who are currently living here in Italy. And Instagram is actually a fantastic way to make connections. A lot of the people that I know through Instagram are fellow expats, and I just connected through them, like literally just hashtag expat in Italy, and it will bring up all the different accounts that follow that hashtag or are currently using it. So for this reason, it's a great way to meet new people and to understand a little bit more about what your life is going to be like. So making connections is very important. Italy is a country that, you know, is centered around connections, and this is how you will progress here. This is how you will find work. This is how you will make friends. All about connections. So start working on those connections even before you arrive, because it will honestly make a big difference to your experience. So the fourth way that you can mentally prepare yourself for moving to Italy is to recognize that you need to have patience. Rome wasn't built in a day, after all, my friends. So for this reason, neither is your expat experience going to be incredible from the very beginning. You need to have patience. Everything takes time. Piano piano, my favorite Italian expression, slowly, slowly, step by step. You're not going to move here, immediately have friends, immediately be speaking Italian, immediately feel like you've been living here for 20 years. No, it takes time. You have to build people's trust. You have to form connections. You have to learn the language or improve upon the language if you already know it. And you have to adjust to the way life is here. It all takes time, and you need an incredible amount of patience for this. If you move here and expect within 2 months to be fully settled and enjoying life, forget it. You need maybe a year, maybe longer to adapt. It's a very personal. There's not one answer that fits all. So for this, you need to recognize the need for patience and apply it to all areas of your life in Italy once you move here, because it's very difficult and very testing at times, particularly when you have to get things done and the pace of life here is very slow if you're in the south, or you have some bureaucracy matters that you need to arrange. It can be very testing and trying, but with a little sprinkle of patience, it doesn't have to be a terrible experience. So just something to consider. And the fifth way that you can mentally prepare yourself for your move to Italy is to know that you will have flat days. Yes, even if the temperatures in November resemble spring in the country that you're from, even if you have the most beautiful chilled Aperol Spritz, even if you are eating the most incredible food, there are going to be days where you feel meh. And this is very, very normal, because you don't move to Italy and escape who you are as a person or escape the situations that you've come from. You move with you. So however you are as a person, you are still going to be that person, but in Italy. So if you have certain characteristics and certain traits and certain tendencies and certain negative thoughts, they are going to follow you wherever you go in the world. And so for this reason, know that you'll have flat days. Italy isn't the answer to all of your problems. Italy can help you to grow and to give you a different perspective on life, and you know, help you to experience something new. But it doesn't solve all of your problems. So recognize that having flat days is very normal. You can live in another country and have days where it really irritates you. In fact, I recorded a video about how Italy often winds me up. I'm going to link it above. But equally, you can have days where you recognize that this was one of the best decisions that you ever made. It is always a balance. It is always this scale. It's always going to be this way. You do not have to feel bad about having a flat day just because you've chosen to live in a country. It's very, very normal, and I think it's very important that we vocalize our feelings rather than taking them internally, because we all know that that's no good for anyone. So yes, these are 5 ways that you can mentally prepare yourself for your move to Italy. I hope they've helped. Watch some of my other content, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.